Yo, good morning. What time is it? It's 7:53. What date is it? 2nd of January 2026. One of my viewers asked the question, having watched my video, the question was, where did it all go wrong for you? Now, the question wasn't asked in a kind of a malicious or a mocking way. It was a perfectly genuine question. I live in a Citroen C1, a tiny little car. I'm middle-aged. It must surely have gone wrong somewhere along the line for me. So a bit of my backstory, which I hope illustrates why me being a location-independent digital nomad who currently lives in a tiny car, a Citroen C1, in southern England. I'm just going to let this motorbike go past. Hold on. Because I just want him to go past safely. Go on, if he can actually go. Thank you. Because I don't want to hold him up really because I'm going quite slowly, although he's a learner. So yeah, where did it all go wrong? So I'm a location independent digital nomad, but I do live in a very tiny car. Back in the day, bit of a backstory, back in the day, there's a car behind me now, I'm going to let him go past as well. When I was young, when I was a teenager, when I was 13, 14, I used to go fox watching every night. So we used to live well, for a period of time we lived in a house in London, and London has some amazing urban foxes. Some very approachable urban foxes, and what I would do is, whilst I was at school doing my GCSEs, I would go out at night and basically the parents would go to bed. I was obviously living in my parents' house. Parents would go to bed at 10, 11, whatever. I would pretend to go to bed, but then at about 11:30, 12 at night, I would scurry downstairs, unlock the doors, get out of the house and go fox watching. So as a young teenager, 13, 14, 15, I'd be out on the streets of South London watching foxes, and then by about 3 o'clock, 3 a.m, I'd be a bit tired, so I'd crawl under a hedge quite often and have an hour's kip. Then I'd get up, it would be dawn, depending on the time of year, and I'd walk home, get back into the house, having left it all unlocked, go back into the house, lock it all up again, and scurry back up into my bed, and then get up and out of bed in about an hour or two, ready to go to school, where I would subsequently fall asleep during lessons, obviously. So that was the first sign that there was something a bit weird about me. And I would also sleep on the sofa down in the living room of the house, rather than actually sleep in my bed, which was also a bit odd. Little did I know that my parents knew exactly what I was doing. They were both into nature, and they didn't say anything until finally when I was about 15, 16 maybe, I came into the house a bit late, and my dad was already up, and he kind of chuckled and said, "Yeah, we know you've been doing this for years. It's fine. It is what it is." But anyway, I failed all my GCSEs, obviously. But I did get a job, so I started a campaign in South London against a damaging flood alleviation project on a river engineering project. I got a job as a result of that, as a community liaison officer for that project I was campaigning against, because we transformed the project into something that was wildlife friendly. And I basically, whilst I was employed, I was kipping up my sister's house, but not in the bedroom, on their living room floor. Very strange behaviour. So I did that for a year. Then we moved back to the Isle of Wight, which is my home place. And I went to university, oddly enough, because I failed all my GCSEs. Didn't have A-levels, but the University of East Anglia took pity on me and allowed me to do first a postgraduate diploma in ecology, which was basically an entrance type course of 1 year, although I did it over 2 years part-time. So I did that part-time diploma in ecology at University of East Anglia. They allowed me to do that with no GCSEs, no A-levels, no nothing, which was amazing. I was in my early 20s by now. Then I did a master's in ecology at University of East Anglia on the back of doing that postgraduate diploma. And for the last 6 months of that master's, I lived in a tent. And then for the last couple of months, I lived in the MSc room. So at night I would sleep in the master's room on the university campus. The university didn't know that. Hopefully they're not watching this video. So again, I was sleeping on a floor on a roll mat, like basically camping, either in a tent initially and then in that room when it got a bit cold. Then after that university stint, I went to Cambodia and lived out there for 6 months initially. First dry season, I lived in a hammock. I travelled around, backpacked around. I was actually working, I was being paid to do some work for BirdLife International. But I basically lived out of a hammock. I did do a bit of hostel style sleeping, so I could have a shower and all that sort of malarkey, but basically I lived in a hammock. Came back to the UK, started a PhD, and during that PhD process I lived in a bivouac for quite a part of the period of time. And that was great. Then winter came along, so I moved into a Falmouth Backpackers. This was University of Exeter by now, down in Falmouth in Cornwall. So I went into the Backpackers, lived there for a couple of months. Cost too much, so I bought a van for £600, a small Citroen Berlingo. This was 2018, and I moved into the Berlingo. Car life, van life started. So I lived in that Berlingo, that £600 Berlingo, for 6 years. It was superb. The engine was wonderful. Did me a really good turn, and I loved living in that little Berlingo. I lived in Cornwall at the time, hence I started my YouTube channel, Cornish Van Dweller, which is what it's still called, because I daren't change it because people like the name. Yeah, so 6 years in the Berlingo. Finally the Berlingo conked out, and I moved into a little hut on Ventnor, overlooking Ventnor Beach. High ceiling, concrete floor. A cat, Benny, used to sleep with me, but I was basically camping in a big hut. It was quite a big hut, it wasn't that small. Had electricity, so I had a little radiator which I would put on occasionally. And then I bought this car, Flea, for £550, I believe. That was 2023, December 2023, so 2 years ago. We're January 2026 now. And I've been living in this little car ever since. I took out the passenger seat, I took out the back seats, so basically there's a sheet of metal at the back where the back seat used to be, and there's a big gap where the passenger seat used to be, and there's a big plank of wood, plywood, bridging that gap, and a mattress on top of it, and that is my bed. And I love living in this little car. Had a few issues lately with her, but I think she's fixed now, so I think she's going to last me the winter. Like I say, it's the 2nd of January. I fully intend to live in this vehicle for as long as she survives, basically. So there's my backstory. Entirely through choice. I am naturally a nomadic minimalist. I don't like living in houses. It's just not my style. Like I say, I thoroughly enjoy it. So there's my backstory. Let's drive on a little bit further. Let me just show you where I am, or where we are. We're on the Isle of Wight, so we came from where did we come from? Knighton. I parked the car at a Black Gang Viewpoint car park overnight, which I often do. There were 2 other vans in that little car park. My little car and 2 vans. Van dwellers, people sleeping there overnight, which is nice. Didn't say hello. Yeah, so there's my backstory, and it's raining. I am going to have a very quick walk. What's the time? Don't want to get too wet. God, it's only 3 minutes past 8. Didn't take any time at all to get here. It was 1 minute past 8, I think, when I left. Yeah, it's actually coming down quite heavily, that rain now, so I'm not going to bother having a walk, I don't think. Or at least not until and if it stops. If and until it stops. Oh, nice cup of coffee. Oat latte. I've got a jet boil in here which I use to boil oat milk and water. It's just a Zero, Nescafe or Zero instant decaf coffee, and it tastes really good with oat milk. So you can probably hear the rain. It's not that heavy, but I don't want to get my jacket wet because it is a bit of a pain drying it out in this car. One of the drawbacks of living in a very small vehicle is keeping clothes dry. And I basically have fast drying clothes, quick drying clothes, so that at least they dry more quickly than slow drying clothes in this little car. Anyway, thank you for that question, viewer. I know it was asked in the best of spirits with the best of intentions. How did it all go wrong? It didn't go wrong, basically. So I suppose if I'd led a conventional earlier life, I would have got a mortgage, bought a flat or a house, and moved up in the world in a conventional way. I don't own property because I didn't do any of that. I donated quite a lot of money when I was basically I've worked for 30 odd years professionally in my chosen field, which is wildlife conservation, and quite a lot of my disposable spare income went to charities that buying bits of rainforest, little nature reserves in the tropical Andes in Ecuador and Colombia. So that's where the money went. Those little tropical nature reserves, basically the money that these organisations raise from European and American individuals, is passed over to local NGOs, local community-based charities who want to protect their bits of forest around their villages, bits of rainforest in the high Andes and the mid Andes, full of wildlife, full of biodiversity, but they want to protect the forests to protect their watersheds, their water supplies basically, and to have a ecotourism type venue. So they build little eco lodges and cafes in the villages and have nature trails going through these bits of forest. And it only costs about, well, between £150 and £250 a hectare, compared to 20, 30, 40,000 pounds per hectare on the Isle of Wight, at least. So it's a very cost-effective way of supporting wildlife conservation globally. So that's where the money went. So it means I don't have a house, I don't live that conventional fixed house life. I'm never going to, well, what I might do, if my side hustles come up, as my side hustles build up and begin to succeed, writing books, YouTube channel, online courses, affiliate marketing, that kind of stuff, I'm going to buy a little plot of land. I'm going to buy 2 little plots of land probably, one somewhere in Ecuador or Colombia, within one of these nature reserves that I'm supporting with donations. So I have my own little inner holding where I can build a log cabin. You know, buy a hectare, 250 quid, build a little log cabin, 10 grand, and I've got a little winter hideaway in the tropical Andes. But I also want to buy a little plot of land on the Isle of Wight somewhere. So basically I've got somewhere to park the vehicle overnight. Sometimes, occasionally. Don't tell the council. Don't tell any of the neighbours. I hope nobody's watching this video, by the way. That's the plan. Put me in prison if you like, and then that'll be an alternative house. That would be quite nice, actually. Maybe I should commit some petty crimes and I can live in a low security, relatively safe prison and get food paid for, do lots of isometrics, build up my body strength, write a load of books. I don't know, can you do that in prison? Can you write books? I think you're kept in your cells for a long time. Obviously it'll be petty crime, you know, like nicking money from a very wealthy, rich moron, like a trust fund kid or something, and giving that money to Ecuador for their tropical reserves. Then they can lock me up because I won't be able to give it back for a few months. I should do that every winter, shouldn't I? That could be quite good fun. I'll have to research that. I'll chat GPT it, which is the least stressful way of going to prison over winter. What crime should you commit that'll get you in a relatively nice prison during January and February each year? Maybe I should do it in Ecuador. But then again, are the prisons in Ecuador comfortable? Thailand, maybe? The Bangkok Hilton, it sounds nice, doesn't it? But I think it's a really notoriously horrible prison. So I probably won't do it in Thailand or Ecuador. Somewhere warm. Spain, Portugal? No, they're not warm over winter, are they? If it's a low security prison where you're allowed out into the grounds, then I ought to do some research on where there's loads of wildlife in the surrounding landscape. Out in a desert somewhere, or out in the tropics. Bali, is there a prison on Bali? Anyway, maybe I shouldn't be recording this, but I am. You can tell I'm a bit unconventional. It's just a new way of, you know, finding cheap accommodation, isn't it? Right, what is the time? Has the rain eased off enough to justify a very, very brief wander? I think it has. Let me tie my shoelaces, then we'll go for a very brief wander. Oh, there's a red squirrel. You're not going to see it because it's gone up the trunk. They're very common here, red squirrels. Yeah, it's raining properly now, people. My gum. And I've finished my coffee, that's very annoying. Might have to make some more when I get into the bay. Actually, I might also go shopping. Buy some more oat milk because I'm running out. Actually, I'll buy oat milk later if I remember, which of course I won't. Fatal error. Let's have a drive, shall we? Drive to Ventnor Bay. Yo, there's the locals. I know these dog walkers. They're all very friendly around here. You'd think that living in a car would make you be ostracised, but nothing like that at all in the Undercliff. Quite the opposite. So that couple lives along here. I frequently park along here overnight. They know full well that they're probably channel viewers, to be honest, I don't know. They know full well that I live in a car. Well, the sky is actually clearing. I had a lovely walk yesterday up to Coombe Bottom, right up the top of Ventnor, up that way. So I'm going to add that now. And yeah, so the last bit of this video will be from a walk I did yesterday. I hope you enjoy it. Hello, good afternoon, Happy New Year. 1st of January 2026. I've forgotten the microphone to stick on this camera, so I'm just going to have a birding walk, but I'm not going to say very much unless I see something. So just coming on for a walk basically here in Ventnor on the Isle of Wight. Don't know how far I'll get going up Bath Road at the moment. A bit ominous that the cloud has suddenly started to roll in from the north. Don't think it's going to rain. It's not at all cold. It's colder yesterday, that's for sure. Last day of 2025 was colder than the first day of 2026. Phew. Oh, I can hear a crest. Gold crest or probably a fire crest. There it is again. Nice black cap just in there. There he goes. Not seeing many black caps so far this winter. Right, we're going to go uphill, up St Albans steps. This is a long old, or a steep old flight of steps. St Albans steps. Whew. This is great from an exercise point of view. Going to try and do this a lot more over the winter. It's a nice bench just here, but the holm oak has been allowed to grow up to block the view, which is a shame. Used to be a lovely view. Quite sweaty now. Got too many layers on. Hold on. Hello there. Too many layers. Got this big thick Paramo waterproof jacket on. And then under that I've got a puffer jacket type thing, which is way too much. Phew. Let's put you back on my head. That's better. God, suddenly busy. Not seeing many birds, are we? It's easier going up. Not really.
We all have to do it.
There's a chippy. Let's have a bit of a breather. You alright? That sounds like a bus behind me. Yep. Wonder how long before this starts to crack up again. Oh, it's all downhill from now onwards. Just on old chute now. The cut. The most impressive bit of the graben. It's the back of my old garden over there. Amazing. Can see the view we used to have from that house. Superb. And the old willow's still in the garden. There's a little pond next to that willow. Old chute field. Just hitting the publish button on another video, a New Year's Day video. There we go. Come on, little birdies, where are you? One of my favourite benches up here. Don't often come up here these days. Lovely. What a view. See the harbour down there. Ventnor Bay. The beach. And the dolphins, if there were any. Oh. This is a very random walk, isn't it? I definitely didn't intend to end up all the way up here. What can you do, Jose? Jose? What can you do? Coombe Bottom with Ventnor below. This is so nice, such a lovely day. Let's get a photo, I think. Should make a nice thumbnail image. A little bit muddy, but it's been pretty dry. Well, it's been very dry. So not too muddy at all, just a little bit. So I've got 4 weeks of January, 2 weeks of February, and then after that the days are nice and long. The snowdrops and daffodils are all in flower. The birds are all starting to carry nesting material around, especially blue tits and that kind of thing. The robins are switched back again as to a spring song as their testosterone levels rise up again. And it's basically spring in 6 weeks. I tend to find this bit of the winter period, January, does actually go quite quickly because we're on the up now. December, everything's still on the down. The days are getting shorter until the end of the month. But now it's, oh, look at this. Is that what I think it is? No, it's not what I thought it was. It's a flower, but it's not what I thought it was. It's a lovely flower though. It's a lovely ragwort. Look at that. No bees on it. You're off my head. That's lovely, isn't it? Don't know if it's in focus, but it's rather lovely. So peaceful. Try and go down a level now. Whoa, almost fell flat on my back there. What time is it? 2:27 p.m. Nice herd of aurochs over there. There's a buzzard. This is kind of eye-wateringly beautiful up here. In some of these slopes are rammed, jam-packed with wildflowers. And then you've got the Adonis blues, the chalk-hill blues, butterflies they are. Small blue I think got up here. And dark green fritillary. Lovely butterflies. Just a cracking part of the world this is. And it's so quiet and peaceful. Yo, cowpat. Just blundered into a cowpat. Oh well. Come on birdies, where are you? Wood pigeons. There's got to be a tit flock somewhere. So flipping quiet. Well done, dog walker. Thanks for putting that there for everybody to see. Very nice of you. Absolute blooming scumbags, people that do that. Still amazed this little flight of steps here is held up. It's going to collapse one of these days. Never feels very stable and robust. They've at least repaired the rails there. Yep. Another dog walker's poo bag dumped there. What can you do? What can you do with these horrible people? Coast Guard station. This used to be the Terminus pub. Very nice pub that was. Well, it was the nearest pub to where we lived. Used to go in there with my old man quite a lot. This has been a long old walk, hasn't it? Heading down now, back into town. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, now is a good time to subscribe. Battery's almost flat on my phone. It's a kestrel up there, I think. Oh no, it's a jackdaw.